Yeah, that reminds me of the time I had a manager once that said to me, you know, you're worth more money dead than alive. You're worth more money dead than alive.
To the treetops, from the sandbox, we had it stacking so we wouldn't even fall. A lot of dead limbs had to cut off. Riding with fake niggas made me cautious. You did me wrong, so salty. I had to get in my bag. Tell them people you ain't really honest. I got that for you. I got that for you.
You need $250,000 just to get business.
$250,000 to $1 million.
And where do that go to? Marketing?
Everything. All the way around the board. You know what I mean? It's a machine. It's called a machine for a reason. You know what I mean? You got marketing. You got marketing on the streets. You got marketing on the air, on the radio, marketing on the internet. You got you got everything. All this shit, it's a machine. You can't just do this over here and not do this over here. It's like, nah, bro. It's a machine.
So you can't be broke independent.
Man, y'all be seeing these folks, man. Y'all be seeing these folks, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, y'all be seeing these folks. I ain't got to say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, since day one. You know what I mean? Like, all of my music, any project, all of them said Paper Route Empire, all the way up to this day.
I think that we all, as artists, because we're highly sensitive people, and this machine around us, this so-called music industry, is such a demonic thing. It sacrifices people's lives and their essences, and at the drop of a dime.
He said, bro, I'm getting too much fucking money, bro. They gonna want to kill me, bro. They gonna want to kill me, bro. He said, why, bro? He said, bro, if I ever found out, he said, bro, if they ever kill me, bro, I want you to go on live, nigga, and talk your shit, bro. If they ever kill me, bro, and that's not, nigga, exactly what I'm finna do, dog.
Yeah, that reminds me of the time I had a manager once that said to me, you know, you're worth more money dead than alive.
What up, y'all? Bell TV. And as you see here, you got Empire's distribution, artist categories, and all the people affiliated that work with him. And first off, I want to say RIP to Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? And as you see, the great Shaka Khan was speaking on how they don't really give a fuck about you and you're better off dead than alive anyway. Now, think about some greats that we know. Prince, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. I'm going to show you a few clips to where they monetize off of these people's death. And RIP to all the youngins that's on this list here. I'll get to them later, but pay attention.
We know sales of Michael Jackson's songs and albums have gone through the roof since his death. Thriller, the top-selling album of all time, soared to #1 yet again on Amazon.
Yeah, and in some places his CDs are completely sold out right now. BBC's Joe Lynham has this report.
At HMV's flagship store in London's Oxford Street, the shelves were literally bare. Jackson Mania means disappointed fans here will now have to wait until tomorrow to get their hands on his CDs, DVDs or memorabilia.
Overnight, the sales were incredible. I think we saw an 80-fold increase in demand from our customers coming in. I think their first reaction, like everybody else, we were so stunned. And you think, I'll go to a record store and just try to get that connection with Michael. And maybe it's their way of sort of making a tribute to actually sort of try and buy the CD or the DVD. Overnight, the sales were incredible. I think we saw an 80-fold increase in demand from our customers coming in.
Now, I want you to pay attention to what man just said. He just said they got an 80% increase as far as the customers coming in and purchasing Michael Jackson's music, whether it be the Thriller album or the greatest hits or whatever. We just talking sales, general sales. Now, I'm going to let the interview continue, but pay attention.
This rush of sales means that 27 years after his first #1 album, Thriller, and 6 years since his last best-selling CD, Michael Jackson is bound for the top of the UK album charts once again with a compilation of his greatest hits. And it looks set to be joined in the top 20 by a host of other Jackson albums as well. And it's not just his albums selling well. Around 20 of his best-selling songs, including The Man in the Mirror, Billie Jean and Beat It, are expected to re-enter the singles charts today. But Jackson is also set to become a record breaker for digital downloads. He's already topping the iTunes album charts in nearly all major markets, having been the first megastar to die in the broadband era.
In a chartologist type of way, this will create new fans for Michael Jackson, because there are some people who just buy every #1 or every record that makes the top 10. And of course, people who are, say, under the age of 15, but hear the top 40 on the radio, will be introduced to this music.
Pay attention. Same play being used. Again, for us 80s babies, we grew up under Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston. And for you youngins, they running the same play. For you guys musicians, as far as Young Dolph, King Von, Mo 3. Now mind you, I'm showing this list again because these are people who were under this man's distribution. Pay attention.
That's something that we did a lot different when we wired our company. I have international employees all over the world in key markets like Nigeria, Indonesia, China, Europe, Latin America, so that when we push the button in the United States, it should get a global push. Because for an artist like yourself, if you look at your streaming numbers, I would imagine 30 or 40% of your streams are coming from outside the U.S.
Man,
so it deserves to have a marketing component. Yeah,
it might be more than that too, to be honest. But that's why it's like, you know, it's touring.
It's foolish. It's foolish not to work a record internationally now. We're in a global economy, and if you're making amazing music, you should be working it globally.
You know what else is fucking dumb as shit is that they first week sales, they just count U.S. as if none of the rest of the world exists.
Matters, yeah.
It's like, yeah, like when you see first week numbers, like, oh, so and so did 100K first week.
Yeah, they're only looking at the U.S.
Just America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that's not even
a lot
Canada,
of that.
That's not even Europe. It's like what?
You know what? A lot of people don't, because a lot of people don't trip off why that matters. It doesn't matter to the general public. They made it matter to the general public. What it really matters to is the CEO and the executives that are going to get bonuses off of those numbers.
Now I want you to pay attention to one of this man's artists that's under his distribution company, King Von. At the time, King Von debuted an album called Welcome to O Block, and it debuted at number 13. Now mind you, his album came out the week after he died. So again, it debuted at 13, and it shot up in the second week, it shot up to number 5. Now remember what the man told you about Michael Jackson, that once your stuff goes top 5, just because it's in the top 5 or top 10, people purchase it just because. So imagine the sales that was getting made off of that. You really need to pay attention and understand how this game goes.
Since his death, the King of Pop has been the king of the pop charts. In fact, in an industry that had been seeing steep declines in CD sales, it's been a huge challenge to keep up with this renewed demand. Here's Eric Hong.
At Reckless Records in Chicago, the King of Pop is selling like one. Everything with Jackson's name on it, gone.
We have to special order and just tell people, you know, you gotta wait.
In this age of declining album interest, sales of Jackson CDs have jumped 4,000%. Amazon's top 10 music sellers are all Jackson, and he's the first performer to sell over 1 million internet tracks in a week.
Definitely now, after his death, I am gonna start collecting.
Jackson's record label Sony has been scrambling to meet demand. Its New Jersey plant churning out CDs, even on this holiday.
Right now it's pretty crazy. It's back up to you can get overtime. They're calling everybody in.
For an artist whose work has often been overshadowed by his dubious personal life, this surge in popularity and profits is perhaps the ultimate vindication.
This is really the opportunity, finally, for people to feel like they can remember what it was that they loved about him.
And retailers expect the trend to continue, perhaps for months, as details about Jackson's death slowly come to light. A long, final encore for an artist whose music remains a thriller. Eric Hong, ABC News, Chicago.
When Dolph came to the motherfucking people and told these niggas, let me be co-owner of Empire, nigga, they killed my bro, nigga, 4 days later, nigga.
Want me to explain to you what hip-hop is?
That's what I'm
All
trying
right,
to
let
get
me explain to you what hip-hop is. The worst loan you could ever make. When you sign to a major label, that money that they give you, let's say they give you 800 grand, right? That's a loan. You have to pay back that loan with interest. So if you don't make back that 800 grand, what they do is they put you in the red, but you can still be hot. And you didn't make back that 800 grand. So you can still be hot. So they'll give you another album. And they'll give you, instead of 800 grand, they'll give you 1.2 this time, right? So now, but you're still in the hole for that 800. You understand? Mm-hmm. But now you got another 1.2. And if you don't make that, then you're just in the red for both. And this is a loan with interest that you don't get nothing out of. Hip hop is not meant for the artist to win. It's never been meant for the artist to win. And the more and more you learn, the more and more you read your contracts, the more and more it's disturbing.
So again, knowing that information and seeing how these executives and these quote unquote distribution co-owners treat the game, they put you in contracts in which you could never fulfill. And in other words, it's better off to be dead than for you to be alive, because you're never going to make that money back and you're always going to be indebted to them, so you're essentially a slave. I mean, either way, it's a lose-lose situation, and it's a shame because they make it to where you got good people that get compromised. So I mean, RIP to all the people mentioned in this video. Again, man, this industry is of the devil and it's ugly. But what I will say is, if we continue to study and we put this knowledge out there, man, we can protect our children and create something else. Another industry, you know what I'm saying? To where, you know, it can be righteous and also enjoyed. But either way, like, share, subscribe, man. Make sure that you always pay attention. Peace.
Spirit is strained and you limited to change. The lyrics in your limericks are changed. A different hook, the way the sentences arranged. More demented in your deliverance, more sinister in your slang. Sounds more belligerent when it's sang. The truth is limitless in its range. If you drop a T and look at it in reverse, it could hurt. Look at the grimaces of the pain, and it's worse when it works and your membership is gained. But you forgetting the proof diminishes in the flames like poof. The media pours images in your brain of the score of the war where militants are slain. The faces of the guilty where innocence is proclaimed, and they filthy. The deaf ears are the winners, the listeners are the lames. Of the ballad of the man that the son of a minister has became so.